Okay, so we're doing these videos about contour lines, and one of the great things to draw with contour lines is shoes, because there's just so many intricacies like with stitching and shoelaces, etc. So it's a really good exercise for that. So what we're going to talk about today is the idea of using line variation in our contour lines to kind of enhance the drawing and give it more life. So the idea of line variation is just this idea that you have lines that go from thick to thin. So a line that's thicker and it goes thinner, and we can actually use multiple lines to make it even thicker, right? So that we can get a line that goes thick on one side, thin on the other, or it could also go be a line that's thick on the ends, right, and thin in the middle, etc. Or thick in the middle and thin on the ends. But one of the things that it does is when a line gets thin, it tends the mind tends to push it forward. So if it gets, say it gets thin, I'm going to make it thicker over here. So if this is an edge, then what happens is with this edge is that this pushes forward. It kind of looks more like it's moving towards you, whereas this looks like more like it's moving away from you. So that is one way we can use the line variation to enhance our drawing. The other way is we want to show lines as they're going away from us getting thicker. So a couple ways they can go away from us is if it's going under another line. So often in these shoe drawings we might have two shoelaces, right, overlapping each other like this. And in that case, the shoelace that's going underneath, we're probably going to want to thicken that line to give the illusion that it's going underneath the other line. Right? Helps add that illusion. The other thing that we can do with line variation is we can suggest a shadow. Now, we know that when we're doing contour lines, the contour lines really don't include any shading or shadows, right? But we can suggest a shadow with a thicker line. So, for example, if we have, say, a circle, or I'm going to make this look more like a donut, right? Like almost like it's a rivet on a shoe, like what we have over here. Okay. If I thicken the line underneath it, almost like there would be a shadow there, any place that goes underneath something that looks like a shadow, it automatically adds depth to that image. So I'm going to also add that to this line here, which really adds a lot of depth to the lines. So in this example of the shoelaces overlapping each other, we can like almost think of this as a bridge, whereas this is a road going underneath and this is a road coming on top. And so this road, to add more depth, I'm going to add a little suggestion of a shadow by making that thicker. Line just a little bit thicker. All right. Now it's really starting to suggest the idea of the one going underneath the other. Okay? And we can use these ideas to create more interest in our drawing. So you're going to have to look at each line and kind of make a decision. Well, is this line going under something, going over something? Is it showing a curve that's coming out? Is it a curve that's moving away? And kind of try to really make those decisions. So if I'm looking at this line here as a shoe, we want to maybe, since that's the bottom side of the shoe, suggest maybe that there's a shadow there. So I'm going to thicken this line right here, like so, right there. And that's going to suggest, by thickening that line, suggest a shadow. And I'll do the same thing over on this end. Okay. On these rivets, again, we might think about adding that shadow like I did in my example onto the rivets. Okay, and that's going to really help it feel like a more three-dimensional object. Make it thicker on that side. Again, overlapping shoelaces. I'm going to thicken this one up a little bit as it goes over that one, and this one as it goes underneath, it's going to kind of thicken up as it goes under that other shoestring. Okay, so that's going to add a lot more depth to this drawing. If you're not sure like where it goes, just take a guess and you're probably going to be right. Like if I look at this one, this strip of cloth kind of goes underneath the rubber there, so I'm going to make it thicken up as it goes under there. It goes thinner there. And again, adding some depth. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker here and thinner there. It's going to kind of push the heel towards me a little bit. I see this line here is going behind, so I'm going to thicken it on the ends where it goes behind this other piece here. Okay. Again, this line here is going behind that one, so I'm gonna try to thicken that on this. So it's just about adding these thick and thin lines, making the lines more interesting, giving them variation, because lines that are all the same width are kind of boring actually. Okay, and we want to really add a lot of interest to these drawings. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and you can go ahead and have fun with it.